Alrighty, good morning. I'm back again. Ancestors. How do we map out what ancestral land? All these ancestor terms that are fucking going on. They're important. I'd say they're far more important than in recent history, for some reason, than we've been led to believe. There is a mythology that it has been perpetuated that is where the most important thing is like, now you're emerging, now the past is bad, and we've had a really large campaign about the so-called atrocities of our ancestors, to which there is no member of this world that doesn't have atrocious behavior in their ancestral line. But on the whole, we're not really daily in an atrocious situation. So they must have done some good things as well. And I think it's everyone's responsibility to go back and scrutinize their ancestral whatever and clear that fucking history and figure it out, what's right, what's wrong. And that, it's in the current age, that is where you act. But you don't act disconnected, cut off. You need to maintain that connection and then sort out. It's like an inheritance. You're given an inheritance of historical rights and wrongs, and you need to scrutinize that. And that's a very large responsibility. And there is a lot of people selling you the comfort food of the responsibility isn't important. There is a drive-through, guilt drop-off centre, on the corner of every fucking suburb in every state, in every country on fucking earth, where you can go and drop off your ancestral responsibility and let somebody else do it and just watch TV. So when I talk about ancestors, what do we talk about? Well, let's start with parents, because that's, I know most people don't want to think about their parents doing it, but they did, right? Now, in our regions, we have a thing called a surname. This is to keep track of ancestors. It's a pretty good invention. So in my case, my parents, their surnames, their maiden surnames. So it's like, this is your mother's maiden name and your father's surname. Father's surname is Wise, and my mother's surname is Wilkinson. And then you can keep going. So we've got Wise, Wilkinson. So what was my grandmother's? What were their maiden names? Cameron and Hardy. Now, I can't fucking help, because I've done a lot of searching down this Cameron specifically down this Cameron line. Down the Cameron line, if you've got ancestors in Scotland, you'll understand that the Camerons were a fucking clan, the same as the McDonald's. And the McDonald's is also on the corner of every fucking suburb selling comfort food. The Camerons specialised in a particular type of comfort food. And my mother has been left there, and she's a lifetime consumer of the comfort food specialised by Ewan Cameron, who would be best described as a Nazi, I'd say. So I guess the problem comes when, as far as I can see, I think the Wilkinson, there is a conflict there in Ireland, because the Wilkinsons he was the chief of the fucking, not the chief, I can't even remember the specific name of the Ulster settlement in Northern Ireland. And so immediately there, these things weren't told to me properly. And the reason for this is because it came down my maternal line and my mother was drugged and off her head and out of her fucking mind. But although she got a lot through. And because my brother and I came through at a later time with that clan, with the Wilkinson clan, we were basically an afterthought in that clan. Now, there's not a lot of fucking conflict. There's conflict that's emerged recent times to do with my children's mother, who also has this exact conflict within her parents. She had this conflict already. This shouldn't have gone here. The reason that she didn't settle that conflict in her own mind within her own family is because her father died. This passed that conflict on to me. So I inherited her internal born conflict between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, between Catholic and Protestant. I inherited that. That is a fucked up fucking thing to do. That is a weird recipe for fucking disaster, I can tell you. Because it holds something perpetual. It holds the father's dead and then it scapegoats me. Now, if we had remained together, we probably would have settled that conflict together quite civilly in 1,000 different ways. But because there was a separation and because there is no communication from her end, it keeps this conflict fucking alive and supercharged. And unfortunately, because of substance abuse, it is alive and supercharged and horrific. I would claim my behavior and my, disruption while I was drinking, most of that more than 10 years ago now, I'd say, yeah, pretty horrific, pretty nasty, under the same scourge of losing someone close to me. So I understand all the things. And it was her support during that got me out of that. Unfortunately, when it went to go the other way, there was a retreat and a delayed response in that. Now, I guess this is where I have to get to the point of the Camerons. Because who is, in this current era, the most famous representative of the Cameron clan? Well, that would be James Cameron, the director of Titanic, the director, more importantly in this fucking current moment, of Avatar. So do I think that in a moment where we are on the doorstep of global war that is coming down religious lines, do I think it's odd that the most famous representative of the Cameron clan is making a film in which the basis of that film is that people project into tribal form from a distant place in avatars and run around in the fucking jungle with bows and arrows? What do I think is going on? I would say that Avatar isn't just a film. Avatar is a preparation to prepare people for the real reality that there are avatars here. And it's fucking genius. And his work as a director has well and truly, in my opinion, cleared the dark mark on that clan by the work of Ewan Cameron, to which my mother is still trapped in. She's still trapped in that. My sister is now trapped in that because of inaction and non-conversation, and using the methodologies and the discriminatory measures that were created by that clan and by that pharmaceutical intervention on the, like I said, the afterthought second child left remaining after the other one died from pharmaceutical things. So what am I? I guess I'm a fucking Cameron clan Highlander avatar. I'm a Scottish Highlander. Half. Avatar, because an actual Highlander, horrific fucking sword-wielding fucking lunatic, would not be tolerated. But a cinematic version of that, yeah, I think we can. So when we get down to it, we can see that obviously this entire fucking thing is held as some type of United Nations wartime emergency strategy in which somehow, see, it's like, what is the largest grossing movie of all time? I'm pretty sure it's fucking, like, think about it. What are we thinking? What's in the arena? In the arena is Titanic. In the arena is definitely Avatar. In the arena is The Sound of Music. Did you know that? The Sound of Music. Who directed that? Well, his last name was Wise, and then we get back to ancestors. So we have a couple of families going on. Now, are there any directing names? Let's look at my children's ancestors, because they've got slightly different. It's different. We've introduced a new element, a wonderful element, an intelligent element, a beautiful element, a courageous element. when hopped out from under the cloud of unfortunate alcoholism, which we've all been there, so it's you know what I mean. But well, what are my children's ancestors? Well, they've got me as Wise, and what is their mother's maiden name? Is Hitchcock. And she got that from her father, who unfortunately died when she was 17. Hitchcock immediately is recognised as one of the most famous directors' names. In fact, this is one of the things that she told me straight away. It was the claim to fame from the Hitchcock clan, which at the time when the father was alive, they shared proudly. Oh, our ancestor was Alfred Hitchcock. Oh. At that time, I didn't know that the director of The Sound of Music's last name was Wise. I just was never told. Nobody told me this. I had to find this out. I found this out a year ago. I never made the connection that James Cameron is like, well, that's my grandmother's maiden name. It's the same thing. I didn't realise that my mother worked for NASA and that NASA made the most famous film ever. So what's going on? I'd say, because there's not a lot of famous films that promote Nazis. It wasn't really done. Because I think they're not very good at making films. I think when you have a mindset that can resort to the fucking systemic, mechanized fucking decimation of an entire race, which would be pretty well displayed in Avatar, just quietly. If we think of Avatar, it's about a horrific mechanized, all-encompassing alien race invading a planet where the planet's inhabitants are naturalized, and they can't even breathe the air and all these things, and they're mechanistically trying to wipe out this. Well, that's what lots of members of my ancestors, I'm guessing, felt. I guess they felt like that. The Scottish Highlander myth is from wars against the English. Now, a strange thing happens when I introduce Wise, because Wise is English. 180 years ago, my ancestor, I think George Wise, left Kent in England, very different Kent, very different England, to assist the governor in the building of Hobart. After its population of native inhabitants had been decimated. It's not immediately clear in any of my research whether this was undertaken by any members of my family. I don't know. I honestly do not know. But I think all of this is meticulous. Basically, we're at a situation where there's too many coincidences. So all of this is either meticulously planned, which has been horrific and has tested me to the very limits of what I would consider possible. Like it is the edge of insanity. Like, to walk this fucking line. But I guess I am the Avatar. I remember it was weird because I always had skinny legs when I was a kid. It's funny, I actually heard Liam Neeson say, because he wore this dress and this Naked Gun film. Liam Neeson also, in film and playing characters, Schindler's List comes to mind. I don't know whether he's from Northern Ireland or the Republic of Ireland. He's Irish. And I remember my friend making fun of me once because of the same thing. I was scourged with the same little skinny leg. And in Avatar, was when Avatar first came out, the films, and he made fun of me. He said, "Oh, yeah, because the guy is disabled. He's paralyzed. This is why he does it. He's a Marine. He wants to fight. He wants to but he's paralyzed." So it's the ultimate thing. It's like, this is my fucking story. This is what I have lived, not CGI, not fucking, and not bows. I had a bow and arrow, not not flying on dragons, literally, all in metaphor. And it gets down to the point where it's like, this is a telling, because I think there was a negotiation. I think the melding of the Wilkinson, Cameron, Hardy, Wise clans, I think it was potentially one of the most, taking into account as well the age difference between my father and my mother's previous marriage, my mother's mental illness, the conflicts between her previous marriages. I think obviously it's all here. But I think that something happened between this pairing that, and I have a feeling it must have been known about and must have been observed. And there was a conflict that didn't just end with my parents. It stemmed back through their ancestral lines and the power structures that their ancestral lines oversaw. And there was a war that went on. Very much like the same thing that's happening with my children's mother. But the unfortunate thing with that is just like, well, I see that rampant alcoholism and avoidance as surrender, and should be like, I'm trying to sort this out. I'm trying to, I have no desire for ultimate victory, for the decimation of anything. I only want her to be healthy, happy, safe, prosperous. Do you know what I mean? And her to be returned as the person that I've known since I was 15 years old. So this is a little bit different. My children will come and see me. I'm guessing eventually that she will wake up to herself and she will leave the troubled man that she is trying to help. And I believe that will allow him to recover from his trauma that exists from his previous marriage, from his parental arrangement, whatever it is. But I will no longer hold myself on a post and be fucking tortured by those two people. And there needs to be intervention. So I can't see that going unless there's a rising up of the IRA and the McGee clan to kind of, because I have no aspirations on Ireland. I have no desires for that. In fact, I've offered solutions to that. I do have a concept of a united Ireland. Ireland, not an Irish Australia. United Ireland, loyal to Australia, loyal to the United Kingdom, loyal to Scotland. We're all in conflict. The United Kingdom is an alliance between Scotland and England. The history is still there. The wounds are still there. And that manifests throughout different populations, different ancestral lines, all differently. But there is a United Kingdom. Now, it gets tricky when you look at the United Kingdom. You say, is the United Kingdom actually still that? And I would say no. The United Kingdom is a bureaucratic organisation that has hijacked or attempted to hijack the United Kingdom, and it's going to fail, because kingdoms, there may be a government calling itself the United Kingdom. Kingdoms don't have governments; they put up with governments. Governments isn't, like I said, is encroachment. It always has been. It was an acceptable encroachment And from that acceptable negotiation of an encroachment, some things have gotten better. But we're right now at a position where there's so many things that are so much worse that we have to go back to the kingdom for a little bit. And the United Kingdom now isn't led by Keir Starmer, and it isn't taking place on Great Britain. It's taking place in almost every continent on earth. Why do I support King Charles? Well, fucking hell, he's an old guy. He's an old, snobby guy that's got a lot of weight on his shoulders. And so we've all got to help him carry that weight, because that's ridiculous. He's got gentle fucking shoulders. He's obviously not been fucking hardened by the Scottish winters for fucking hundreds of years, nor the fucking Tasmanian winters, nor the fucking deserts of Western Australia, nor the horrors of suburban hell or urban fucking crime. And it's like, he cannot. He is the image. And it's not so much Charles. It is the king, the ideal of a king, that I am protecting. And so you can see that we're pretty fucking, we've got some pretty advanced level shit going on here, it seems. We've got a experiment running between a subsect of the Cameron clan being warred on its own. So there is a war going on. But I don't see, I haven't really looked hard I haven't really found much of people of the Camerons present day, like keeping the pharmaceutical psychiatric experiment going. That seems to be a system, like a factory and a machine and a corporation that seems to be, has been removed from any influence by the Camerons. And so it's been stolen. It's like the idea of a catapult. It's like Ewan Cameron built a fucking catapult, and some Nazis fucking have stolen it and have mechanized it and have spread it all out and have combined it with other things. The pharmaceutical iPhone alliance is hell on earth, and it has swastikas all over it. And I guess they weren't expecting Avatar to suddenly become real. I guess they weren't expecting a Highlander to fucking emerge wielding a Google phone as his sword and taking on an entire fucking clone army of iPhone users. I've described the iPhone as a snorkel many times. It's like, watch that fucking trailer for the new thing, Fire and Ash, to which you'll see that a large portion of my videos show me in flames. Like this. I've called my Fireproof Knights. This is a nod to the Knights Templar, which also exists down my family line on the Wise side from England. I just don't think that a bunch of faggots walking across the Sydney Harbour Bridge is really, and sorry about the term faggots, I'm using that in the old English version of the word faggots, in which I mean fucking entitled, snobby, fucking wanker fucking Nazis trying to enslave the world with phones and images of phones and images of flags and pharmaceutical drugs and things like this. Snorkels. In the trailer, it's the kid of the guy, the general of the fucking invasion thing, and he wants to exist with the blue people, so he's got a fucking snorkel on. I don't know who I am in this. I guess I'm fucking Jake Sully. Maybe there was some Nazi involvement. Well, there obviously was, because we can see that it's split. Definitely down if I get to the Masonic involvement or the English involvement. It's like it's well known now that it wasn't cut and dry whether England, Germany, the Allies versus Nazis. It wasn't like that. That's an oversimplification of that. It's mixed to do with classes and fucking all types of things. So we have to try and get to an identity that we can really make solid. And it's the same as it's been for thousands of years. It's like an alliance of non-violent, incredibly talented, incredibly dedicated families, institutions, like militaries, countries, nation states, religious organizations, to attempt to shift global conflicts out of the Dark Ages, out of the barbaric things that were undertaken in World War II, into something inspiring. This is where we make a bridge to Nazi things. It's like, this is what the NASA movement, what space is about. I don't want to get into a conversation whether the moon landing is real or anything like that, because at this point, right now, the identity of the moon landing is more valuable to humanity than anything we're ever going to find on the moon, if that makes sense. But it is a celebration of the moon, I think. I think it is a science fiction story about the wonderful effect that the moon has had on community, and this is celebrated in all the religions. This is just a different version of it. So we can get back to there. We can get back to, well, really the moon landing is a story about the moon, and this is where they were at. I think it got out of hand, as everything does. And I think it's that over exuberance is manifest through the intervention of stimulant substances. There is a reason the Nazis would look like that. It's because they were on stimulants. And I'll say, just the thing, I took some today. It is a nice feeling. It is like I did my business on it, but the problem is it's like on reflection back, and I wasn't trying to take over fucking the whole of Europe. I was trying to take over the entire glass industry in Australia. It's a pretty big undertaking. But I was doing it small scale, responsibly, and I'd planned it for 10 years. This is what business really needs to be. And we need to get better at understanding that this is the new exploratory region of the world, is to capture, reorganize, and clean house entire industrial chains, and then negotiate all those things. It is fucking ridiculous. It is not firebombing tobacco shops in a paradigm only perpetuated by a government's attempt to limit the harmful effects of cigarettes. That is a street level war that has been allowed to be continued in this. That is so far removed from the tobacco situation of the 70s, whatever it is, when we were first discovering the ill effects of nicotine, not nicotine, of tobacco. This is coffee, and this is nicotine gum. By Johnson & Johnson. So far, it seems to be working. And I'll just say, Milindazine. Hey, how you going? You've gone. Anyway, but if you see that later on. I have been partaking in caffeine and nicotine for breakfast since I was 16, 17 years old. I don't know whether I would want to continue that. I'm kind of on that train, so to say. I was appreciative beyond imagination of the vaping revolution because it got me off cigarettes. There were days when I would smoke cigarettes, and I still miss them every now and then. And I still quite like smoking because I have cannabis. So I smoke cannabis, but it's such a lower, it's like smoking a pack of cigarettes a day like, even if I had fucking 7 cones, it's nowhere near the same amount of smoke. But I still very much enjoy smoking. I don't go to things like cigars or like my father did, like a pipe, because I really do take my health seriously, because there is a lot of work to be done, and I don't want to burden my children with that with my absence. And that gets back to the death of my children's mother's father, of their grandfather. Unfortunately, it was cigarettes and alcohol, I'm guessing, and stress and all types of things. Now, I can't, maybe it's the luck of the draw. My father smoked a pipe and 50 cigarettes a day and lived till he was 85 and drank a sufficient amount, far more than I have. But his last, say, 10 years were not pleasant. If I compare my current girlfriend's, I've got to stop saying that. Oh well. Current girlfriend's father, similar age to my, it's night and day, and he's recovered from cancer in the last 5 years, I believe. So it's like, and he drinks. I doubt and he may have drank in excess, but it's the cigarettes. Really does do a number on you. And so why are we having this? It's because nothing is destroyed in this world. The pushback on tobacco companies it didn't slow down production of tobacco. It just moved. Now, it moved to vaping. And the paradigm of vaping before the disposable vapes was actually quite good. I think if the government had have assisted distributors and kind of allowed a legitimate industry to emerge there, I believe we'd be in a different place now. I'm assuming that the nicotine is derived from tobacco, unless it's not. I don't know enough about it. But I guess it's what's being exposed, because this is all non-governmental. If you've heard of an NGO, non-governmental organization, these are the real movers in the world. Whatever the fuck I'm a part of, because it's been decided by my ancestral lines, by things I am very unaware. It's like I have been chosen as the fucking champion for this fucking thing, and I have not just taken that and done it. I have forged that on my own, based on my own moral grounding, and that is where most of my work has been done, is into making sure I'm fucking pointing at the right place. And I'm far from perfect, so this was quite an undertaking. There is either a very large simulation-like thing going on, or the nature of our reality has been hidden from us, the true nature of our reality. I have tried to show this every way I can. And probably the best way is to, a year ago, I shared a photo of me sitting staring at a mirror with scale matters underneath it, with a coat hanger in the background, while a bunch of what I would consider my enemy, Nazi terrorist supporters, walk across the bridge known as the coat hanger. And so this is an exposure of this. This is like, we are leading you, not the other way around. And it's got to end. It needs this. You need to recognize when you are beaten. And first, to do that, you need to realize, what the fuck are you fighting for? And then you have to understand that work, if you are working, you are fighting. And that this is not the baseline of constitutional law. For me, it's very clear because I was always working for myself. I did not ever want to pick up my sword to fight someone else's war, but I understand that the government is doing a very good job and a continuous job, and has gotten so good at it, at continuously whipping people to go and fight. All governments are. A lot of religious institutions doing. Go and fight. Cost of living crisis. You're going to starve. Go and fight. You're going to starve. Go and fight. You're going to starve. Go and fight. You will not fucking starve. That is first and foremost what you need to fucking understand. You can buy a 20 fucking kilo sack of sugar and a 20 kilo sack of rice or fucking oats or wheat, and you can feed your family for a fucking long time. And there is an abundance of land that is incredibly affordable to manage or to live on or whatever, or do anything. You're not fighting to survive. You're fighting to provide trinkets. Because trinkets have filled the vacuum that spirituality or belief or duty or faith, or even just like calm wonder of the beautiful place that you live in. Any trinket, no matter how amazing, and a Lamborghini is a trinket, a Lamborghini will not replace a beautiful sunset on a hill. It just won't. A Lamborghini won't replace the feeling of calm that you feel when all your ducks are in order, or when all your children are safe and at home and not being led astray by a government that is continuing to whip half of, or more than half of the citizenry of this country to go and fight a disconnected, almost invisible, it's impossible to actually track all of that, to where the fuck, who you are fighting for, what you're fighting for. But a combination of what you're buying and who you're getting paid for, I guarantee you're fighting someone else's war. I'm trying to end that war. I'm trying to get to a point where we can say this is a war between Google and Apple. And if we fight that war on moral grounds, then Apple needs to surrender and it needs to self-destruct all its devices. And if it does not have the capability to self-destruct all iPhones internationally, then it needs to create that. Apple has to unplug its iPhones right now. This is all we ask for 2 weeks. By this system, by this flow, by this war, by this government overreach, by this financial fucking swindle, by this organized crime networks, by this pharmaceutical, whatever, it's like we were asked to stay at home. We're being asked again, Sydney-siders are being asked right now to stay at home so people can walk over a bridge with their iPhones. We were told to flatten the curve because a potentially dangerous virus was this. This is far more dangerous than any virus. It doesn't cut off communication. I think this laptop, you can get one of these for $100 or $150. That's 10 times less. That's 1/10 of the price of an iPhone. The picture is grainy. The sound isn't great, but it's there. The world you live in was built on far fucking less technologically advanced systems than what I'm talking to you on now. But I'm not holding it in my hand. There is a clear separation. There is and don't just take my word for it. Give it a go. If it is outside the purview of a father's influence to remove a dangerous handheld device from his children that was supplied to them by 2 alcoholic kidnapping individuals, drunk, literally, and drunk on the power that this paradigm has given them. If it is outside the purview of a father to request those phones be removed, to request that apps on the phones are removed, at the same time as the government, with the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, is attempting to do the same thing, then where are we? Who do we belong to? Most people now have a smart TV. Most people somewhere in the house will have a laptop or a computer. Any library has a computer. 2 weeks without iPhones sounds a whole lot better as a war strategy than 2 nuclear submarines off the coast of Russia. I don't know what the percentage of iPhone usage is in Russia. I should probably look it up. But in this moment, we're not talking about nation states, about empires. We're talking about my family. No matter whether I'm part of a global cinematic propaganda submarine, or whether I'm just an Aussie bloke trying to do what's right for his family. This should not be outside of my purview as a father. Not just a biological father, not just a sperm donor, but an active participant, like a full-on father, until the moment of the vaccine mandates, to which that was removed from me. You've tried to remove a whole lot of fucking things. They weren't fucking joking when they said state daddy. They used the abandonment of fathers egged on by fucking the trauma of World War II onto our populations. And the same as the doctors, they filled that vacuum. But there is nothing that fills that vacuum. There is nothing that replaces a fucking active biological father from a children's fucking life, from a child's life. Nothing. Nothing anywhere near it. For me to do a good job as a stepfather, I have two jobs. If possible, it is to re-establish the bond between if possible, between the child and their biological father, and then fill in the gaps and protect the mother from being overrun by that system. In the model of my mother and father, it looks a whole lot more like an ambush by two families than anything I'm talking about. And that's what we need to create structures and laws to prevent. People will do what people are going to do. If people have done it with cannons and catapults and guns and castles and fucking swords and crossbows, they're going to fucking do it with phones. They're going to interact with our systems. And it should not fall on the shoulders of somebody extraordinarily capable of putting up a good argument. The government is guilty of one fucking thing. Our Prime Minister is guilty of one thing, and you'll never guess it because you wouldn't guess it by looking at him. And it's polygamy. That's why he can't swear on a Bible. The Australian government has the largest harem that has ever been established right now. It was perhaps established as an intermediary because we were having this situation of abandonment. We had a traumatized population cut off from their ancestors and cobbled together here from all types of regions, some of them being foes, the large portion of them being foes. And so what was started to, look after the safety of women, look after the safety of children, has turned into a harem that on command will do whatever they're told. It is the ultimate in coercive control. It is an infrastructure of coercive control that is not acceptable. And when compared to the infrastructure of, yes, control, but not to this level that was existing prior to this model, it gets fucking crazy. There is, if you go and want to earn big bucks on a mine, yes, they will have a system of control and they will expect certain things from you in this, but you have an option to leave that job to find something else. So that is that you may make an exception to do is that. But when the whole thing starts working like that, when the whole thing starts looking a little bit too much like a warlord fucking harem carrying fucking drug addled iPhone fucking crack smoking fucking monstrous fucking hideous communist fucking army, not of like Chinamen. It's almost like it is a familiarity with Chinese acting like that. That's because Chinese people were bred to be like that. Our people, English, Irish, Scottish, Welsh, American, Canadian, we're not bred to be like that. Especially like the men. When men say it drives us insane, you want to know why there's a violence? Because the government is stealing women and children and using them to fight a war against itself. It is civil war. But of a population that's so diverse and so conflicted on its own, the Australian Labor Party, when compared to the traditional historical value of, say, the Scottish identity, the Irish identity, the English identity, the Celtic identity, even the Australian identity, the West Australian identity, the Queensland identity, the Tasmanian identity, the Australian Labor Party no one knows who that is. Nobody. It is nothing. It is a fucking vending machine. And we've forgotten who stocked it. No one thinks who puts those in there, who collects the money, who does this. They want to oversimplify and say, well, this Australian Labor Party, they're doing this like that goes to this is the simplification of the thing. It's like all this rah, 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 all the criticism. It's like, yeah, that's your structure. And they don't know how to deal with that. When you hear criticism coming from our Prime Minister as an Australian Labor Party representative, he's criticising his own party's work. It's like, yeah, you fuckers made this, but it's not Australia. You're only governing and making decisions on your own party that you've terrorised and that you are paying to sit at home and steal children. In an attempt, I'm guessing, to provoke a violent response that then you can use. But it's not a violent response. It's an 80-year-long military exercise to expose the horrors of fucking communism. It's got some of the largest grossing films in history. 80 years of that compared to fucking 50,000 dickheads on a fucking bridge starts looking really weird. And then it's like Victoria, the right to work from home. What the fuck are you talking about? the right to work at home. My answer for Australia, for the real Australia, to reply back to this Victorian fucking delusional nonsense is like, you'd better start learning how to fucking grow potatoes in a fucking balcony of a fucking apartment building. You'd better start fucking learning how to provide your own fucking shit if you wish to fucking have the right to work from home. You've confused the situation. You're too fucking close to the fucking light. You're too close to the fucking spotlight. Do you think we're fucking serving you on silver fucking plates? In those Houses of Parliament? Do you think we're fucking chauffeuring you around, providing you with platters of fucking organised collections of cuisines gathered from the global fucking community and lovingly provided to you? No. No, 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 no. No, we're not. Do you think we're fucking entertaining you in the Opera House? Performances trying to elevate your reputations globally, saying how wonderful our government is. Telling dramatic stories about the rise to power of Anthony Albanese in 6 dimensions over an 80-year period, using literary and performance and cinematic. No, we're not. Shit falls downhill. It's inevitable. All of this. All of this was so inevitable, so certain, that it was agreed upon to use a strategy so slow and monotonous as like I'm saying. It's like, how long ago was Titanic filmed? How long ago was Avatar filmed? How long ago was that painting right at the back of Parliament House? The big picture. The big fucking picture. The big picture. How long ago was that painted? The pentagram has to go. It's half gone. It's not a pentagram, it's a Star of David, Damo. And no, the pentagram doesn't have to go. Look on the fucking police badges. What do you see, mate? A fucking pentagram. The police that just lost the right to stop a bunch of fucking terrorists going over the fucking Sydney Harbour Bridge. You don't support police to defend our national icons? Jesus Christ. And plus, it's not mine anyway. It's my girl. You know what I mean? I'm not going to fucking. I don't have to set my fucking backdrop for you. It's just there. It's not my fucking house. And I don't know what your trouble is. No offense. If a collection of sticks upsets you so much, you really got to check yourself. Say what you want about Brad Dudes. The man can coach footy. I know he can. Do you want me to get you the post that celebrates his fucking grand final win? Makes sense now. You're friends with him. I've never said anything about his fucking ability to coach football. The problem is that that's not what we're talking about here. The problem is that he doesn't know when to fucking step off the field, which is a courageous thing, which is why I haven't fucking killed him, basically. What are you talking about? What are we talking about? Why are you here when your mate has my children hostage? Do you know what I mean? We're not talking about he didn't fucking do something else. And where the fuck are you from? And are you that fucking retarded that you're supporting someone, an alcoholic fucking knobhead who's fucking stolen children? Do you have children? Cunt? Fucking Jesus Christ. Some people need to fucking learn that there's always fucking two sides to a fucking story, and you never listen to a fucking disgruntled ex-partner about a fucking reputational fucking thing to do with someone else. It's the first rule of Fight Club, you fucking cocksucker. Honestly. Silence. Oh, well. And that's the fucking thing. It's like, that's what's always going to happen. I'd say I've been pretty good by keeping this contained to a fucking video screen. You know what I mean? This could have fucking been so much worse than that. What no one realizes is that it's like, I'm not, he's obviously come in to fucking protect his mate, and good on him. You know what I mean? But guess who's my mate? Is my son's. Like, you dickhead. This has never been an acceptable thing in Australia for some drunk fuckhead's mate to go and protect his retarded fucking mate while he steals children. This is some fucking Irish fucking blow-in fucking mentality. What the fuck are you talking about, you dickhead? Anyway. I'm waiting for a fucking reply. Why isn't Brad Duty here? Say what you want. You've almost got to laugh. You've got to laugh at the fact that this is it. And this is what I mean. If this isn't the same, but it's a scaled down version. And it is the most un-Australian thing you could fucking imagine. This is my claim to that fucking family, is you're in the wrong country. If you want to go and fucking steal children and drink, go to fucking Ireland. You know what I mean? It's too hot here anyway. And I don't want that fucking mentality running down my fucking ancestral line. And just to fucking piss him off, even though he's gone, there you go. There's there's a pentagram. Yeah, it's on the fucking West Australian Police fucking badge, you cunt. I guess no one fucking understands that. I guess no one understands fucking anything. They just fucking, they think that all this whole thing with my children runs on the insecurities of that man that you're fucking defending, to do with his fucking father. Why the fuck am I getting dragged into it? Why am I getting dragged? Why are my children getting dragged into it? It's fucking stupid. And it's the same. We've got two individuals there that are fucking alcoholics. They need some fucking therapy about their fucking issues with their father. And their mates need to stop fucking defending them in their fucking stupidity. And I guess if I was wearing a fucking police uniform and putting Brad Doody in fucking handcuffs right now and dragging him into fucking Hakea to be arse raped on the fucking floor, I guess you'd all understand it. I guess if the fucking SWAT team arrived at Bassendean fucking Oval and arrested his entire fucking football team, I guess you'd start fucking listening. Wouldn't you? So what's Bassendean fucking known for? It's known for the largest fucking most well-known Australian fucking pedophile, Rolf Harris, and the second most fucking drunk, retarded fucking moron ever to fucking to grace the fucking field, Brad fucking Doody. You fucking cocksuckers. And maybe if you all concentrated your football effort instead of drinking, doing drugs and stealing children, maybe your fucking talent would flow up to the West Coast fucking team so they wouldn't be going home with a wooden spoon halfway through the season. You fucking blow-in fucking maggots. You ever fuck with anyone from that fucking hills or the country ever again, we will burn your fucking clubhouse to the fucking ground. You fucking cocksuckers. Fucking Jesus fucking Christ. This is why I can't go anywhere. Because of this. Because this fucking cocksucker fucking does this. Boy, this escalated quickly. Yeah, fucking oath it does, mate. Children, yeah? Number one rule of being an Australian, don't steal someone's fucking children and make up lies and tell the fucking police. Number one rule. I've never fucking heard of another rule apart from that. The fact that it happened to be aligned with a fucking global war, so I couldn't fucking deal with it in any other way except for this, despite telling the cunt non-fucking stop what was going on, it didn't need to happen. My children didn't need to be fucking... in a way, it's fucking weird because of what I was doing. It allowed me to concentrate on the fucking thing that I was doing, but I still fucking hate it. So it's like, if you want to celebrate your dickhead mate, take him to fucking rehab, give him some confidence to be able to have a fucking calm conversation, and get him to stop fucking eating so much because he's a fat, bald fucking cunt. Do you know what I mean? But if he's done anything, he's assisted me to do my job that none of you understand far better. And so what did I do? I utilised that cunt as a fucking punching bag so I could do my job. I have no fucking hard feelings for that cunt, and I've fucking made that clear, but he won't. He picks and chooses. I've left him breadcrumbs to say, mate, this isn't about you. This has never been about you. It's not about Julie. It's not about anything to do with fucking you cunts. But you don't... This is my job, you fucking spastic. I can't... It's like, what? Who are you, by the way, Sonny Matthew? Who are you? You know, provide a fucking introduction. Hi, I'm Sonny Matthew. I fucking... do this. Do you understand I had to design an entire fucking online mediation service so that I could grab my children away from two alcoholics? Teach my boys how to surf or to fucking skateboard or to play fucking cricket and not fucking smoke meth and fucking drink vodka. It's like, I just don't fucking get it. And all that you're doing by defending this is you know what you're doing to Bassendean, to all these regions, fucking Girraween, wherever the fuck that cunt fucking emerged from? You're dropping the fucking house prices because no one wants to be fucking surrounded by a bunch of yous. But you don't care because none of you's own fucking property anyway. You're just happy to keep paying the ridiculous fucking rental fees of the FIFO workers that live in fucking other places. It's a fucking bullshit scam. Yes, it's not as extreme as other cases, but it's the fringe. It's the line in the fucking sand. Don't fucking cross that fucking line. Me putting this to bed, going back to work to pay them, that's never going to fucking happen. They fucking surrender. Then I fucking will do anything I do. You don't understand the fucking intricacies of this ridiculous thing. But the main things you need to understand is that children are being held hostage about money. That's always a crime. And there's a formulation. Basically, their whole strategy is the same as the terrorists in Gaza or Palestine. They hold children hostage, and they make the person look violent and fucking whatever. Except I don't have bombs and guns and shit. I'm talking on a fucking screen, and you morons are there watching it instead of doing the job. Do you know how many of my fucking mates I've had to pull aside because of their fucking negative behavior? It's constant. That's what footy's about. It's not about the fucking end of season fucking whatever. It's about winning fucking games and being a fucking team. I guess the fact that we elevate our fucking crackhead golden boy fucking whatever to the fucking pinnacle of West Australian media is maybe a bad example that fucking says that, one, football's more important than it fucking is, and that fucking you have mates. Yes, dickhead. Yes, cunt. Honestly, it's the most fucking confusing. It's you're trying to frame it like I was a crack smoking fucking homeless fucking wife beating, I don't know, degenerate. No, mate, I've run my own business for fucking 15 years. I raised my children for 15 years. I left their mother because she was fucking doing this shit. Honestly, it's crazy. It's fucking insecurity and jealousy. It's all it's ever been. I understand it because I've been a stepfather to 2 children. I get it. You know, when they say daddy issues with a girl, yeah, guys have that as well. This is how it manifests. They steal children. And every time I try and celebrate him for what he's done, he misses that and he cherry picks stuff to do with the fact that they're still holding my fucking children hostage. There is a negotiation that needs to take place, and I can't do anything in my fucking life until that is done. That is the definition of blackmail, of hostage taking, of everything like that. The fact that you don't understand it and that you're jumping in the fucking ring, you know what I mean? That's the problem. I've been in this. I've stood up to a fucking group of people and got my fucking ass fucking flogged on the fucking ground. Why are you defending someone who's stealing children and drinking every day? Because he's what? Because he passed you the ball on the footy field? If he's your mate, then that shows your responsibility isn't to fucking talk to me on fucking comment section. It's to pull his fucking head in before someone else does it. That's it. Otherwise, you're not his mate. I'm fucking sick of it. The Australia I grew up in would understand that terrorist flags on our national monument is not acceptable. That if we allow terrorist flags on our fucking national monuments, shut up, cunts. Oh, you know, fucking Jesus Christ, take it, fuck. It's no, mate, no. And this is pretty fucking chill. It's pretty fucking chill. The problem is that there is billions of dollars spent by the AFL to place forward Australian football as our pinnacle achievement. Now, the problem is that with the rise of suburban Australia and the entitled fucking disgusting mess coming from those regions is destroying the actual brand equity, the actual image of what Australian football is, of what Australian sport is. There's a reason why we fucking went so hard on Ben Cousins, because he was destroying not just the fucking reputation of football, but the reputation of everything. And the fact that he was basically a fucking bitch being wheeled around by fucking organised fucking criminals in this state that have now been, I'm guessing, eclipsed by other fucking international criminals that are trying to that have their eyes on this state, makes it even worse. And the sad story for fucking Mr. Doody is what? He's not Ben Cousins, and he's done far worse. Basically. And considering the most horrific violent crime I had was inflicted by a local football team, I'd say the AFL, and I've already made this clear to the Governor General, one of the ex fucking whatevers of the AFL, I'd say they fucking owe me a fuckload of money. And with that money that the AFL gives me, I'm going to put that into the AFL team in Tasmania. It's all quite clear. There isn't a statewide discussion going on about Brad Doody's fucking Bassendean fucking stadium right now, is there? No. The West Coast Eagles have lost. They're in last place halfway through the season. Football is our buffering fucking zone. In negotiation to do with civil discourse in the entire federal fucking country. And no one's here again. So this is classic. This is the classic. This is showing the fucking seagull mentality of fly in, squawk, fucking fly out, squawk, fly back in, squawk, giggle in the fucking corner, make up fucking thing. But mate, we're watching you as much as you're watching me. So it's this is so we don't go to all-out war in the streets. It's pretty handy. And guess who made that? I did. I made that. So we don't go to war in the streets. So we give the Bassendean football team fucking shit. We give the West Coast Eagles fucking shit. We steal a bunch, or we don't steal it. We get fucking awarded a large sum by the AFL because of fucking systemic fucking discrimination and a fucking literal almost fucking murder, attempted murder by the Forestfield fucking AFL team on my life. Attempted murder by a bunch of Maoris still yet to fucking come forward about that crime. On my life. That affected my life greatly. Far more than I was remunerated, and not by that. And I don't wish to take those individuals, former members of the Forestfield team, to destroy their lives, to bring them in front of a magistrate with the fucking attempted murder charges for damages resulting from fucking 8 years of fucking severe fucking damage to my fucking brain. I think it's all pretty open and shut. I think it's all pretty self-explanatory. And what do we get out of it? Brad gets a bit of fucking shame, which he deserves. Maybe he'll pull his fucking head in. The kid's mother gets the fucking same. Bassendean is the laughing stock of fucking Australia again because it's, obviously a breeding ground for shitheads. Funnily enough as well, it's where my half brother and sister's father decided to live. So it must be something in the water there in Bassendean. Not always, because I remember going and watching Swan Districts play at fucking Bassendean. My dad actually followed it. But it's like, you've got to understand the history of this place. And there's more than one fucking sport. There's more than one organisation. And you fucking suburban fucking terrorists need to pull your fucking heads in. It seems like all positive. And if you really need it, well done on winning the grand final for your son and my son that I shared in a photograph and called them brothers. But for some reason, your son doesn't want to talk to you anymore. My son has a completely different thing. I'm doing some weird fucking serious shit that my son has to come and interact with. And he's had to play a very fucking weird role in this, and he's done superbly. All my children have done superbly in this fucking ridiculous negotiation. And the pressure and the weight put on them is unacceptable. And is a clear example of the reasons why this guy needs his fucking medicine. The world, unfortunately, for Brad Doody, isn't a fucking football match. It's not an AFL match. His glory days are gone. Yeah, if he wants to pursue coaching, that needs to reflect on the field and off the field, and that is the way it has always been. I'm not fucking bending over backwards to try and coach fucking children in sport. If I was to coach children in sport, it's kind of like, I don't want to do that. It's a pain in the fucking ass. Have you met children? They're fucking annoying. I'd say too much emphasis has gone on his fucking things instead of the children who, there's wonderful players in there. This is all bad. This all reflects bad on everything. On the fucking AFL, from top to bottom, obviously needs some fucking assistance. And that example is going to come from a state that has given us how many. You'd be a terrible coach. You're such a fucking moron. A state that has given us, I think, 2 Australian cricket captains, maybe not, has given us wonderful things, and then we'll now have a fucking AFL team that I'm sure will go head to head with especially the likes of the fucking crackhead fucking army over here. It's hard enough to get out of some of these places. And we've got to get more specific as to what. Yes, football it teaches you good things. Finished. Are you finished? You're interrupting me. And I'm taking the time to respond to you. The higher level output, the more thought you put into your comments or your reply to me, and this applies to Brad as well, the more calm and fucking delicate I'll be. But if you come and comment fucking like incite me into that in here with a letter and a little comment, what do you expect? And this is it's like we're all right. Let's use this productively. So at the moment we have the Prime Minister trying to ban or actually just like get age verification on social media because he wants the kids back on the field. Well, this is the field. This is the fucking example of coaches on the field. We're meant to learn morals and like good sportsmanship and leadership. This isn't any of that. This is some type of rock star status applied to AFL players, which, it's like that happens all across the place. It's not necessarily a bad thing that we have identities in this, and it is good that it's Australian, that it's maintained as Australian. That is wonderful, but it's not everything. And family is so much higher than that. And that is the core example of children's sports anyway. So what does this boil down to? It boils down to there is, like, I could have disrupted games. I could have gone and been fucking yelling. I could have done it. I've never done any of that. There's a million fucking ways that I could have disrupted these individuals' lives. And I haven't done any of them because I understand that it stems from their issues, especially with the children's mother, because her issues have been there since I've known her since we were 15. And their issues have combined, and I'm the convenient scapegoat for their fury. But this isn't concentrated to just this example. This is spread out across the entire country because it was provoked by like subversive techniques by international and domestic people that wish to change the way that this country is run and the moral grounds and the examples, and change that to the communist model of the hardworking, do you know what I mean? The hardworking comrade. But no one is working harder to defend this country than I am in this conversation between these parents. No one's family has committed more to defending this country or to providing this country than this. Scroll from Shubham07. Hey, mate. From India. Hey, how you going? Yeah, you got my attention. How's India going? I'll give you a little minute, but then I'm about to fucking head off. So yeah, long-winded video. So at least now it's established that Damo Gillies and Sonny Matthew, whoever that is, are mates of Brad Doody, it looks like. So there's 3 of them here. I guess this is starting to take shape in a simulated example of what's going on or what would inevitably happen offline, and it's like and shows the kind of the mindset of this. And I guess there's a bit of an echo chamber effect going on with their little crew, and there doesn't seem to be a conscientious, stable-minded participant in the group. And I'm guessing there's a lot of drinking going on, and there's maybe some drugs. So I guess we just keep going down that line. And then they will continue to do more damage to themselves and to their mate, I'm guessing, unless calmer heads prevail and they maybe go and pull his head in. Where are you from? I'm from Australia. Mate, very nice to have you here. Complicated video this morning. I don't exactly know who you are or anything like that, but I'm going to take off and wish you all well, and maybe go watch the Avatar fucking trailer again.